aming anata. DZBB Super Radio 594. Lagi naka-alerto, serbisyong totoo. DZBB Kapuso nyo sa radyo.
Walang kinikilingan, walang pinoprotektahan, serbisyong totoo lamang, walang iwanan.
May paninindigan, matatag maaasahan. DZBB Super Radio 594. Kapusong Pilipino, lahat Super Radio. DZBB serbisyong totoo.
Walang kinikilingan, walang pinoprotektahan, serbisyong totoo lamang, walang iwanan. DZBB Super Radio.
Today is Friday, November 17, 2017. Good morning. I'm your host, Timothy John Agustin, giving you the freshest and latest news from TSMS.
Ito ang Super Balita sa Umaga!
November is coming to an end, and soon, Christmas season will be nearing. Before that, a recap of our October and November events. Reporting about Teachers' Day, we have Ashley Ortiz. Ashley?
Teachers' Day is a celebration to thank our teachers for their hard work, infinite patience, and love. In the Philippines, Teachers' Month starts on September 5 and ends on October 5, although it's usually celebrated in one day within the month. In the Seed Montessori School, we celebrate Teachers' Day in various ways. In the past years, the usual event or activity that grade schoolers have for this celebration is sparing about 1 to 5 minutes of their snacks time to make loud noises and giving their teachers cards and gifts, whereas high school students would formally applaud their teachers and some also give them gifts, surprises, and class speeches. This year, TSMS celebrated Teachers' Day a few days later after the Teachers' Month. On October 11, 2017, students of all levels were gathered at the Dome for what was known to be the usual general practice for the Foundation Day program, which was also held in the Dome on October 12, 2017. A few days before the celebration, representatives from each section of each level were secretly gathered by Teacher Doris Robin. It was a meeting concerning the surprise for the teachers on Teachers' Day. According to the representatives, it's up to us students to create a unique class or batch-related surprise. Students made time, where neither their homeroom teachers or other subject teachers were around, to plan and brainstorm with everyone. After a few general practice performances in the Dome, all the teachers of every level were called out to the stage to be honored. Representatives were also present at the front corner of the Dome to present their gifts and special performances. Most of the grade schoolers gave their teachers heart-shaped balloons as high school students performed their music dedicated for the teachers. Some of the seniors had tarpaulins, posters, and some wrote meaningful messages on a piece of paper. That moment took about 30 minutes or less, yet according to some high school teachers, it was one of the best Teachers' Day celebration ever, for it was celebrated all together by the entire school. It was entertaining, it was emotional, and the teachers felt more appreciated than ever.
DZBB
Reporting on the Oral Com playlets, Micah Viray.
News report. Plays performed by grade 11 students has enthralled the audience. Wednesday, October 25, 2017. That day was devoted to the performance of the 5 plays performed by the grade 11 students as a requirement in one of their subjects, oral communication. It was hosted by their oral communications teacher, Teacher Catherine Gruta. It all went well as the first group's performance started at 8 a.m. and the final group's performance ended at 12:30 p.m. The first group's presentation was a light-hearted event about a wedding that was about to happen and the miscellaneous events that happened within it. It was then followed by the performance of the second group. Their performance was a tragedy about a man who died because of extrajudicial killings and what happened to those left behind. A short break was then employed after the second group's presentation. Actors and actresses were seen eating and changing into their costumes. Some who were done were changing back into their regular uniform. After the break, the performances were resumed by the third group. The group's performance was also about a wedding. but it tackled the groom's best friend as the main character instead of the groom and the bride themselves. After that, the fourth group presented, which was a slice of life of an average student trying to survive school. It took a dark turn when their backstories were suddenly revealed near the end. And at last, the fifth and final group presented. Their presentation was about three men of business, each one of them trying to make it into the top of the business world. In the end, though, they realized that what rest and company with each other will complete their happiness and not money.
I must admit, those oral com plays were quite interesting, one group in particular. Here I have a news article regarding this one particular group in the oral com presentations. It goes, oral communication play becomes venue for spreading awareness on the EJK. On October 25, 2017, the Seed Montessori School's grade 11 class presented 5 plays for their oral com project. An entire day was dedicated to this occasion. Among those 5 plays was one group that decided to make their play revolve around the extrajudicial killings in the Philippines. This group came from the Hums class, and the script was written by Nika Glorioso. A heavy theme for an oral communication play, but they pulled it off. The story revolved around the death of Eric Joseph Kislap, whose name was actually a little Easter egg because the first letters of his name spells out EJK. The story begins as Eric was providing legal assistance to his friend who was accused of drug running when a vigilante opened fire aiming at the friend but killing Eric in the process instead. From here, the story took a turn as they used Eric's funeral scene to show the people who are affected whenever an extrajudicial killing occurs. Everyone who ever knew the person is affected, not only the victim. From the relatives to the lovers and even close friends. In the play, all these people were affected by the death of Eric, his friends, family, and loved ones. And the highlight of their play came at the end where the students decided to speak out, stating that tragedies like this happen in real life, whether back in the time of Marcos or now in these EJKs. Families lose one or more of their own. The ones speaking out are just kids, senior high students, but so was Kian, Carl, Reynaldo, and Horacio. They all lost their lives just this year alone. The oral com project was to speak, and these students chose to speak out.
Easy double B.
New orgs have been presented to the senior high students. Reporting on this, we have Chelsea Saldivar.
Senior High gets clubs. The Seed Montessori Senior High School is finally introduced to clubs and are free to choose based on their personal interest. Participating in the clubs would become part of the students' extracurricular activities, which would commence on December 13, 2017. The selection of clubs would include Delta Mathematics Club, Critics Chamber, the Quantum Society Physics and Material Science Club, Fitness Club, Computer Club, Culinary, and the Music and Voice Club. Despite Senior High's hectic schedule, these promising student organizations still offer a significant list of benefits. Joining the clubs bring about opportunities to learn more about the students' goals and strengths. In addition, we get to make new connections and build relationships as being a part of the same organization with similar interests. Club memberships are limited to a first-come, first-served basis, and meetings will be held every Wednesdays during 3:15 to 4:15 p.m.
Very interesting org choices. Can't wait to see what everyone picks.
Easy double B.
Now here we have Luis Espera regarding the field trip that happened last October. Luis?
So yes, my audience, I was here the whole time. And now, Corregidor is a place that was involved in time of war, World War II. And it's here in the Philippines. It's near Cavite, or it is Cavite. And I gotta tell it to you, Tim. That place, it's really old and it's really dusty, but it's filled with a lot of juicy history bits.
So I heard that there's actually 2 places, Corregidor itself and the island, the one that was said to be a battleship, but it was actually an island. Did you guys get to go there?
We did not get to go to the battleship. We just saw far in the distance island that looks like a battleship.
So I also heard that not all the students went to the field trip.
Yeah, that was a disappointment as those students who didn't go to the field trip were instead had to go to school and spend their time there doing something that I do not know of.
What do you think were the highlights of the field trip?
What?
The highlights of the field trip.
Highlights. Well, we saw guns in there. In a museum, highlighting, actually there were uniforms of dead soldiers and dog tags and guns of dead soldiers.
Thank you, Luis. We'll be hearing again from you later.
Easy double B.
And of course, one of the highlights of October, the 29th Foundation Day at TSMS. Here to report, we have Julian Bakiran and Ashley Ortiz.
October 12, 2017. TSMS celebrated its 29th birthday. In the morning, the level 1 students performed their dance on stage in front of the audience. Afterwards, the junior and senior high school sold their products where they have been assigned. Aside from that, school also put up a trampoline, big inflatable slides, game foods, and many more. And there are many visitors came in our school to visit us. All of the grade levels sold many products, so they would earn more money, as that was the goal. And a lot of photos were taken as well. The booths opened around 10 a.m. and that's when the students began to organize the things that they needed.
The TSMS Children's Fair is an event to celebrate the school's anniversary, and every year, classes of each level handle their own booths. The booths they prepare depends on the country they're supposed to represent. Most of the booths have games, foods, merchandises, prizes, and more. But there's also the horror booth. Only grade 10 students handle this booth. They also don't have to represent a country. But focusing on grade 11 booths, Hums picked France for their booth, which is called Floris d'Amour. It is also a very strong booth, by the way. They sold flowers and chocolates, iced coffee, and even played romantic music. This is very relevant to students, considering students like to show their appreciation and love for their friends, teachers, parents, and especially their crushes during the fair. Their best selling were the flowers. They sold two types, the pink roses and the plastic yellow flower. The plastic ones were more expensive. It was a strong booth, but it was a quick one too. They ran out of flowers in the morning and only had chocolates and iced coffee left during the afternoon. Meanwhile, STEM, ABM, and TechVoc students represented Mexico and called their booth Los Loco. They sold taco cups, churros, nachos, dynamites, and iced teas. They also had games like the water gun duel. Their best selling were the dynamites. People bought a lot of it, and that's what they ran out of first. Somewhere in the afternoon, they had a little problem, like there were more customers and less ingredients for the food, but it was a minor problem. They got back on their feet real quick and managed throughout the day. At the end of the day, there weren't much leftovers and everyone were tired, especially the ones who worked in the kitchen. It was chaos there. But overall, these grade 11 students worked hard and at the same time had fun managing the booth and enjoying the fair.
Easy double B.
Moving on to more recent news. The ASEAN was held November 13 to 15. Here to talk more about it, we have Carla Cruz and Sofia Manikan.
As we all know, the 31st ASEAN Summit was held here in the Philippines. Of course, following protocol, roads were closed down to make way for the leaders' arrivals. Due to this, classes in both public and private schools in Metro Manila were suspended for the whole week, whereas work was suspended for only the 3 days, from November 13 through 15. NLEX was locked down, flights were cancelled, and certain areas were closed in preparation for the summit. Anyone could imagine the heavy traffic that lingered in the expressways as citizens planned to travel to the provinces for their much needed break from work. At the end of the day, students and workers still need to go back to reality.
Recently, the Seed Montessori School had been affected by the 31st ASEAN Summit, which was held in the Philippines this year. The meeting conducted by the members of the Association of Southeast Asian Nations was attended by many powerful world leaders. In preparation for their visit, many roads were closed and some schools were suspended in order to give way for these world leaders. The Seed Montessori School in Quezon City was suspended for 1 whole week due to the ASEAN Summit. This suspension occurred 2 weeks after the school conducted its annual semestral break. This resulted in 2 weeks of having no classes, which undoubtedly affected the students of the school. In response to the suspension of classes, the school announced that it will be providing 2 Saturday classes, which would allow students to catch up with their lessons. Unfortunately, 2 extra days of school might not be enough for missing 2 weeks. Therefore, it is quite possible that the school year would be extended and summer break would be delayed.
Calling all basketball fans, news regarding PBA brought to you by Carlo Cruz.
Andre Blatch, barring any injuries, will finally join Gilas Pilipinas in the next couple of days and will reinforce the Filipinos in their first 2 FIBA Asia qualifying games against Japan and Chinese Taipei. The 6'11" Blatch, Team PH's naturalized player, will play Xinjiang's final game for the year in the China Basketball Association, slated Friday night. Blatch was set to arrive November 12, but apparently failed to get a leave from the Flying Tigers. Xinjiang's next game will be on January, and that poses another problem for the Gilas coaching staff, as the Filipinos will play the Taiwanese and Australians in February. Reports reaching the Gilas camp say that Blatch could flaunt his best form yet in a Team PH uniform. Gilas flies out for Japan on November 21 to play the Japanese, before coming home to tangle with the Taiwanese 3 days later at the Smart Araneta Coliseum. Their next games in February are away matches against Chinese Taipei and Australia. June Mar Fajardo, the reigning 4-time PBA MVP, Jason Castro, Calvin Abueva, Gabe Norwood, Terrence Romeo, Matthew Wright, and R.R. Pogoy are the consensus shoe-ins for the final 12-man lineup in Tokyo.
Thank you, Carlo. Bring out your calendars, 35 days left until Christmas. You know what that means. Christmas activities all month long. Yay! Here to give you a news article about the Christmas at TSMS, yours truly. As December rolls in, students at the Seed Montessori School start getting quite busy. Exams and the long-awaited Christmas activities become a priority on the students' minds. Christmas party planning, decoration of classrooms, secret Santas, and of course, the batch Christmas performances. December, a busy month for students and teachers at TSMS. Each batch from CASA to grade 12 are required to prepare a performance for the Christmas program. Above that, the high schoolers whip out the Christmas decor and start decorating their classrooms based on whatever theme they want. Some classes like 9B leveled it up this year and requested a dress code, costumes as well. And what better way to celebrate the season of giving? Giving and receiving gift is another reason students at TSMS looks forward to Christmas, writing their wish lists and posting them on walls, drawing lots to see who their secret Santa is. Such is the tradition at TSMS. And let us not forget the highlight of December for students at TSMS. The Christmas party. No more uniforms or schoolwork, just fun, food, and games. Students take this time to dress nicely, take pictures with friends, mingle with other students, and just have fun. Gifts are exchanged, food is eaten, and games are played. And after all these events, comes the best occasion for all students, Christmas break. Students celebrate as they go on break, family vacations planned, hang out with friends, and general rest, all in preparation for the following year to come and the challenges it may bring.
Now, Tim, let me just put a comment. It's not necessarily true that students don't have any homeworks or works to do during the Christmas preparation event.
Oh, is that so? Well, at least Christmas break is
Yeah.
where we get to rest.
Christmas break, put a little bit of these things around break because
Yes, good.
I have a feeling work's about to be gifted to us.
Okay, so now, for some of our Christmas season teacher reports, we have Micah Virai once more.
Feature report: Vacation getaways in the Philippines. December is near and this would mean a long vacation near the end of the year, whether you're a student or an employee, or maybe both. I'm sure you experience stress due to this and I know just what it is that would help you. All you need is to go out of town and have some of your well-deserved rest. Here are some of the best vacation getaways in the Philippines. Baguio City, which is located in the Benguet province in the North Luzon, is a nice vacation getaway. It has a cold climate, which is why it was called as the summer capital of the Philippines. That makes your year-end experience even better. Here, you'll have an estimate as to how winter would feel like. There are also attractions around the city which you could visit, like the Burnham Park, Strawberry Farm, Camp John Hay, the local market, and many more places. Just don't forget to bring your winter apparel, or else you might catch a cold. El Nido, Palawan, which is located in the southern Luzon, is also a famous tourist spot. If you're into swimming, then this is the place for you. Its white sand beaches rival those of the European beaches. The hotel also offers a tour package that lets you do an island hopping, visit the Palawan Underground River, and many more fun activities. There's only one problem though, which is your financial capabilities. Having a vacation in this place is an expensive endeavor, so it's better to come prepared. Boracay, which is an island near Aklan province in the Visayas region, is another tourist favorite. Unlike El Nido with its expensive fees, this one is actually budget friendly, as it starts to be more open to the public these days. But if you plan on a long vacation, then it is suggested that you try these leisure activities, such as scuba diving, snorkeling, surfing, and many more such activities. I hope that my suggestions would help you decide where to spend vacation this December. Farewell!
DZBB.
Christmas is right around the corner and there is so much to look forward to for the year end. This 2017, we must focus beyond the giving and receiving and look at the little things that we tend to forget. Like hearing Christmas songs play in public places like malls and restaurants and seeing people enjoy it. Starbucks planners. Looking at Christmas photos from years back and reminiscing. Christmas themed movies on loop 24/7 on the TV. Setting up the tree even if it does get frustrating and decorating it. Driving around and seeing all the efforts put into the lights, giving a nostalgic vibe to your drive. Workers wearing little trinkets of Christmas on their uniforms. Seeing your relatives after a long time and reconnecting with them even if you're really not up to it. And realizing how blessed we are. This 2017, we must realize that the world needs love. More than that, the world needs to realize the lack of it. Look forward to the little things this Christmas.
Ito ang Super Balita sa Umaga!
DZBB.
Resolutions. To do or not to do? That is the question. As we ring in 2018, here comes the annual promises of change. Why do we still try to make and pursue them despite how taxing they may be? Let us be reminded that resolutions are commitments in pursuit of better versions of ourselves. There won't be any difficulty in keeping these promises if we start small and feasible. Set more realistic goals for yourself, such as doing schoolwork ahead of the deadline, completing the 8 glasses of water each day, and finally finishing that one book you keep putting off. Avoid pressure on yourself by having the mindset that we won't always get what we want, but maybe down the road we'll find something we need. Having resolutions should inspire instead of deprive. Make sure that undertaking them would actually make you happy and produce self-fulfillment. Be reminded that everything takes time and that there is no need to rush. It is up to an individual whether or not they partake on the New Year, New Me journey. Simply starting off the year with gratitude and courage to face it is enough.
Easy double B.
Some ways to spend our holidays together with our family, friends, and relatives with some occasions. Valentine's Day. Celebrate your Valentine's Day on February 14th with your loved ones. How? Can you give flowers and chocolates to the people you love? Number 2. New Year. Celebrate New Year with your cousins and family. And when 12 a.m. strikes, light fireworks and celebrate. As you jump and shout, keeping the bad spirits away. Number 3. Christmas Day. This day we are celebrating the Christmas Day. This is the special day that people want to buy more gifts.
Julian, the goal got cut. Oh well.
Easy double B.
Yes, I do. It's amazing news for everyone. The government of the Philippines has partnered with Facebook to construct a high-speed internet infrastructure in a few years' time, promising a capacity that would almost be equal to that of the giants of the telecommunications industry here. But wait, this way, Philippines will have something else that is fast other than the rate of EJKs that have been happening and the rapid decline of trusting the president. That's some good news for us. Now, this agreement or deal that has happened was announced in a joint statement issued by Department of Information and Communications Technology and the state-owned Bases Conversion and Development Authority. Both parties have signed the landing party agreement with Facebook for the project, which would be called the Luzon Bypass Infrastructure. Unfortunately, if this thing were to happen, or it will happen, it has a price bidding of 975 million pesos and would only be available in Luzon or within Luzon. Now, Eliseo Rio Jr., officer in charge of the DICT, said that the department would operate LBI for 25 years. The project is expected to go online in 2019. But then, how long would it be widely available for the citizens of Luzon? 5? 10? Wait, that doesn't make sense. What? Dali lang. Wait. Okay. So, even though it says the project is expected to go online in 2019, that doesn't mean that people would start getting high-speed internet within 2019. So how long would it be available? 5, 10 years from now? Other telecommunication companies might already be preparing for, better deals in the coming years. But then, this is the Philippines, land of the turtle-paced internet. Now, Facebook would be handling the construction and operation of the submarine cable system that will land in the cable stations, providing the company with direct connections from Luzon and to internet hubs in USA and other parts of Asia. Now, Facebook has not disclosed how much they're going to be investing in this project, and the Philippines would be in debt again from foreign investors.
Well, that's all we have for today. Thank you. This is DZBB.
Ito ang Super Balita sa Umaga!
Kapag sa balita yan ang aming anata. DZBB, Super Radio 594. Lagi naka-alerto, serbisyong totoo. DZBB, kapuso nyo sa radyo.
Walang kinikilingan, walang pinoprotektahan, serbisyong totoo lamang, walang iwanan.
May paninindigan, matatag maaasahan. DZBB, Super Radio 594. Kapusong Pilipino, lahat Super Radio. DZBB, serbisyong totoo.
Walang kinikilingan.